It's an absolutely massive week for professional wrestling. What with AEW All Out, WWE returning to the UK for their first UK pay-per-view in 30 years, no less. And so what better time would there be for me to restart, to come out of hiatus and give the channel a little kickstart? Hello everyone, how are we all? Hope you're well. Hope you're grand old time. We're starting big with AEW Dynamite. We're starting with Jon Moxley coming out and addressing his shock win, deserved win, if I'm being perfectly honest, against CM Punk last week to become the Undisputed World Champion. Coming out now, just have a little comment. One would hope to set up a main event for All Out, because we're at the stage we just don't have a main event, which is insane. Of course, the show tonight is coming from Chicago, and so the large CM Punk chant happening, can't lie. Getting booed as well. He's getting cheers and boos. A very mixed reception, unsurprisingly so. Unsurprisingly so. Coming through very cocky, right? Saying, I know you love your boy, but they're still cleaning him off the mat in Cleveland. That he once heard Punk described as the modern 60-minute man, but what a load of crap that turned out to be. He had another 57 minutes. Punk didn't. He 100% deserves to be the cocky bad. You've got to do it in Chicago, like, but he 100%. He said he knew. CM Punk knew the second that he hit him exactly what Jon Moxley. He knew he would keep coming for him, and that looked for a while. There's CM Punk folded. Again, he's doing stuff to antagonize the crowd here, which is, again, 100% deserved. My man has dominated since CM Punk went out. CM Punk came back, took the title, or looked like it was protected to take the title. He says, you don't understand how sorry I am that CM Punk didn't turn out to be what you want. Which, again, I think, you know, in a situation where we're probably setting up between him and Punk at All Out, it makes sense, especially if they're setting up here in Chicago of all places. It makes sense to get that response for big hype pop for Punk, to get Jon Mox come out and just be like, he says he has zero sympathy. And again, he deserves it after the run he's had. He had hockey, but that makes sense, right? There's fragile mind, fragile body, weak mind, weak spirit. Ooh, might not be CM Punk. Moxley says he has an open contract for a title match on Sunday. He's going to leave it in the middle of the ring. He signed it. When he says anytime, any place, he means it. Drops the contract in the middle of the ring. It might not be CM Punk. I mean, that makes sense. It will be, but might not be. says maybe it'll be someone from AEW, maybe it'll be somewhere from somewhere else. Maybe it'll be a New Japan guy. He looks down the lens of the camera and says, "Hey, Rocky, got anyone else again?" Remember this before. I can out-marathon, I can out-sprint you, I can out-fight you, I can out-wrestle you. And I give far fewer you. It's a good promo. It's good. Oh, man. Wrestling as a wherever you are, you've been warned. Then drops the microphone. Wild Thing starts playing. It's a great promo. It's a great promo. And you want to put something out there. You want to put something out there to try and build a match that quickly. It's a good way to do it. Good way to do it. It's awkward for AEW because obviously they've always been a company have, for the most part, put out the main events, the title pictures quite far in advance. It always feels like we know who the World Championship match is going to be way pay-per-view, right? It's always felt that way. And yet, this is one of the biggest pay-per-views they're going to have done for. It's an important one. They've got some competition at this point. It feels like someone's coming. Oh, Ace Steel. Ooh, Ace Steel has walked down to the ring, as in someone who's friends with Punk, trained Punk, I think, eventually. Came down to the ring and picked up the contract. Interesting. Like I say, it's an important pay-per-view for AEW. They've got competition with WWE, now Triple H is there, they've got a heck of a lot of momentum. It's one of those situations where there is obviously competition with WWE for the first time in a long time. Triple H has put something together there where they have some real momentum going. You have a situation where AEW has a lot of, I don't know how to word it, but they have a lot of rumors surrounding them. So it's obviously a huge situation for AEW pay-per-view wise, and for them to not have a World Championship title picture laid out a long time in advance is rare for them. So you want a way to build it quickly. That's a good way to do it. We cut to backstage. Chris Jericho getting interviewed. May have just knocked everything over. Ignore me. Jericho says the Hearts would appreciate his accolades way more than Danielson's. Here comes Garcia, says he wants to apologize to Jericho for everything he's done, and he wants to pledge his allegiance to the Jericho Appreciation Society. Which again is interesting given the fact it looked like they were moving towards him potentially joining the Blackpool Combat Club. Garcia says he believes in Jericho. Jericho says he believes in Garcia. Jericho dropping little Japan references left, right, and center right now. Said it will be on Sunday. Chris Jericho Lionheart. And said all's fair in war and romance, which is of course in wrestling and romance, which is of course war, which is the old promotion he used to wrestle for in Japan. And we cut back to the main arena where we get Daniel Bryan. I think it's fine. It's popping right now. It's popping. It's weird because WWE, for example, when you watch Monday Night Raw recently, have been doing, Raw on Monday is a great example. Straight into a match, no wrestling around. It starts. We've got a match. It's happening. Whereas AEW are doing what WWE used to do, having a promo before the match starts. Now it's not bad, to be fair. Good promo, fun times. Great promo from Jon Moxley. Just interesting. But we do look like we've got a match going on now. It's going to be, I think it's Jake Hager versus Bryan Danielson with Jericho and Regal on comms. Out comes Jake Hager to Sounds of Judas. If there was ever a guy who wasn't a sports entertainer, as it were, Jake Hager's it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously my man, wrestled in WWE for many years. I'm not sitting here pretending he didn't. But when he first came into AEW, they more played off his MMA background, all of that kind of stuff. And now my man's walking to the ring in pink leopard striped, I don't even know what I'd call them, boxers. Here we go. Bell rings. Hager versus Danielson. Hager versus Danielson as a way to promote the All Out match between Danielson and Jericho, of course. Trying to figure out what's on Hager's trunks. He's got like an on switch. I don't know what that's about. He's got lots of other logos of like Jericho Appreciation Society and stuff. So that makes sense. What's the off switch about? Hager pushes Danielson into the corner and starts just relentless right hands to the stomach of Bryan Danielson. Big Beal throw, just lobbing Bryan across the ring. Jericho, of course, talking about the idea that putting him against Jake Hager tonight is basically a way to just damage him before Sunday. Hey Josh, how are you, bro? Hope you're well. Hope you're having a grand old time. Hager sent to the outside by Danielson, bounces off the ropes. Big suicide dive, first one of the night. Up onto the side. Bryan looking for maybe a flying knee. Oh, good catch by Hager. Oh, through the table. Again, first one of the evening. Hager catches Danielson on the side of the ring, the hardest part of the ring. Jumps off looking for that flying knee, caught by Hager, who runs across the entire length of the ring and just slams Bryan Danielson through the timekeeper's table on the outside. Big plays. It's a good catch. Hager's one of those guys I just kind of like, I shouldn't, because I watch him and I'm just like, alright, whatever, man. But I do kind of like him. I feel like it's such a good place for him. He just doesn't really wrestle often. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe, Josh. I mean, I've been trying to sort of work on it. Obviously, I've got a whole new look going on. And I thought, this week, All Out, Clash at Castle. I'm not going to Clash at the Castle, so might as well do a watch along. Basically. Basically. Got a bit of time on my hands, so screw it. I was going to do one for Raw, but I just never got another ground to it. I watched it instead while I was working, but it banged. It banged, to be fair. Hager mounts Danielson in the middle of the ring, just firing big forearms. Points to the point of his elbow, sort of forearm-ish, and then just carries on raining him down. Ticket price and travel was not a vibe. Yeah, I spoke to Ray, who I do 2 Spanners, 1 Hammer with, about it, because he's going. And I was very close to going. I was just going to buy like the cheapest tickets I could there and probably share a place with him, or ideally do it in a day, but the money just didn't work out for it, so screw it, I'll do a watch along instead. I'm very excited for it though, to be honest with you. Really excited for it. Like, it just feels like it's all sort of coming together with a really big show. Nice slam by Hager. It feels like it's all coming together to be a really fun show, and I'm super looking forward to it. We go to ad break in America, which, although I still watch it on Fight, means nothing will happen. Phone going off. Hager dominating so far. There was a brief moment where Danielson looks like he could get on top of Hager and maybe try and end it earlier. The better for him, of course, with Jericho on Sunday. But Hager, since putting him straight through that table again, picking him up, throwing him into the ring post. He's just beating down Bryan now. The thing, can they? Yeah, I agree with you. To be fair, I agree. I feel like maybe you do like an opening kind of bar of the origin of the current theme, maybe, and then you bang out Broken Dreams. Do you know what I mean? Just so you get that moment, and then you go bang, have the old one. Let's have some fun. Let's have some good old times. But I don't know. Who do you think is gonna win? I was thinking about this yesterday. I genuinely cannot decide who I think is going to win about this. Like, I have very conflicting emotions. Oh, nice little info there from Regal, who said he was the first person that Hagar faced when he came onto the main roster, which is a cool, good fact. I saw a mix already on YouTube and it slaps. Okay, I need to look into this. I need to find this. Jake just dominating during this ad break. He's now outside the ring, throwing Daniel into barricades left, right, and center. To use the terms that Excalibur did, it's a wrestling trope, but he's exerting his will, you know. Drew, but maybe for only one of the belts somehow. It's not a bad shout. If they could figure out a way, like Adam Pearce comes out before the match, or somehow some stip happens, or something, I don't know. I haven't looked up spoilers for SmackDown. I know they've already taped SmackDown, but I haven't looked up spoilers for it yet, so I don't actually know what happens. I'll find out on Friday. I'm going to do a watch along for that as well. And figure out what's actually going on there. But yeah, I'd be interested to see. I'm interested to see what happens there and what it sets up. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I feel like it has to be Roman, right? Like, I feel like it just will be Roman. Well, not has to be Roman. I feel like it will be Roman, but it has to be Drew, if that makes sense. Like, in my head, I'm like, it's Roman. But what if? And I can't escape that what if in my head. Back from ad break, and now Hager with Danielson sat on top of the top turnbuckle is doing the old 10 punch classic. Stopped after 5. Disgraceful behavior. How are you going to stop after 5, bro? Danielson up. Nice missile drop kick. Takes out Hager. To which Regal says, "Come on, sunshine, let's go." Flipping spilt tea everywhere. Well, I say everywhere. I spilled tea in a very small, specific spot, but I still don't know. I just linked the song on Twitter. One I found whenever he gets it. I'll have a little listen. I'll listen during the ad break when it's not a match. Danielson fighting back, hitting the yes kicks. And now he's just popping him off. Big yes kicks, ending up with a big one to the side of the head. Pins Hager 1. 2 count. 2 count. Yeah, I'll listen to the ad break. All those hammer elbow things that all the Blackpool Combat Club does, reversed nicely by Hager. Danielson replies it back, and he's got that armbar thing in. I don't know what you call it, the one when people are standing. Hager just walks out of it and starts punching the guy. Just absolutely starts blapping him. Oh, triangle. Triangle from Danielson. Oh, yeah, you love a good powerbomb from a triangle spot. And Hager delivers with aplomb. Motor City Machine Guns on All Out. Legit main reason I brought it back. Yeah, that's a really good match. It's going to be really exciting. The whole pay-per-view looks pretty flipping good. But that... I mean, I haven't watched... See, I haven't watched anywhere near enough of like Impact and stuff. But just to see them back again... I love Motor City Machine Guns. Back in like... prime Impact days, prime TNA days, they were just the guys. Oh, counter into the ankle lock from Hager. Oh, nice roll through from Bryan into the label lock. Oh, he's just raking Hager's nose back. And it looks like Hager could tap. It's close. He's trying to wriggle to the ropes. He can't quite reach him. Oh, he does. He reaches. Welcome to my problem. I keep meaning to, but I've started rewatching Raw from 1996, which shows you that I'm an idiot, so I shouldn't be trusting anything, but I started rewatching Raw from 1996 instead, which is bad, because I should be trying to watch Impact, because it's actually quite good, but I'm stupid. Danielson with a couple of chops, runs in, big flying boot to Hager in the corner, goes down to one knee. Oh, he catches. Oh, he went for the jumping knee again. He's caught. Big Uranagi slam thing. Oh, Danielson, nice reversal. 1, 2. Oh, nice reversal there from Danielson, just into a pin. Danielson loads up, big running knee. This is it. 1, 2, 3. Danielson with a win. Big running knee to Jake Hager's face. Just ends it. Oh no. 2.0. Other members of the Jericho Appreciation Society come out and start just beating down Jericho. Sorry, beating down Bryan Danielson. As Jericho on comm says, everything's fair in wrestling and romance, to just do the reference again. And out come 2 of the Blackpool Combat Club. Here comes Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, who'll be in action later on. Oh. Claudio's so strong. They start brawling, all 4 men start brawling to the outside. Claudio's just ridiculously strong. He just launched Cool Hands Hands just over the top like there's nothing. They're all brawling to the back now. 2.0 scurrying away. Oh, Jericho's got a chair. Here he comes. What a prick. Harsh. Jericho. He's loading up for the chair. Oh. Daniel Garcia takes the chair off Jericho. Tells him he can't hit Danielson with it. And now Danielson, he's loading up what looks like the knee. Big running knee, and there goes Jericho down. A little bit of a don't know. Garcia, after saying he pledged his allegiance to the Jericho Appreciation Society before the match, is now essentially causes Jericho harm. Garcia looks distraught about it. Bryan sort of gives him a cheeky wink as he goes past, but Interesting. We'll see how that goes. Still go back and watch 2001 WWF, the invasion angle. Kid must have been, yeah. It's like, I started watching 1996 Raw and just all of WWE in general. So I started watching Raw, and then I started at the King of the Ring, and then I've just been watching every episode of Raw and then every In Your House and pay-per-view and whatever. And it's just because I've never seen that like period, like from there up until 98. I know everything that happens, but I've never actually watched any of it. I've just know a bit and seen like the highlights. Do you know what I mean? Seen like the moments. I've never sat down and watched anything of it properly. I've seen some matches, a couple here and there, like Austin Brett or whatever. Like, but I've never properly watched them. Whereas like 98 was when I started watching. So 98 onwards, I've seen sporadically bits and pieces and then more and more as it goes. So I just thought, screw it, I'll go back and watch it. I probably should and probably could watch Impact from now, but no. Don't know, I make bad decisions. You know. Good match that between Danielson and Hager. It was a little bit awkward with Jake Hager, but I like him, to be fair. It's a good match though. And good build, and I'm intrigued to see where the Daniel Garcia stuff goes, because he fits just so well within the Blackpool Combat Club. Like he fits so well within it. He just doesn't do it. Let's have a little listen to this Broken Dreams mashup. Because I'm not gonna lie, I do want it to come back as well. Like, because part of me thinks they're gonna want to have that moment where he comes out with the bagpipes and there'd be this huge big entrance, this Scottish, this all-back entrance. But Broken Dreams, man. Broken Dreams. Broken Dreams bangs. It bangs. To be fair, this remix raises a great point, right? Where you could have bagpipes accompanying Broken Dreams, because I think that's the sort of thing I was getting to a little bit. Not with them accompanying, but sort of starting with maybe 30 seconds of the bagpipes, or 20 seconds, or 10 seconds of the bagpipes, or whatever, just to give you that moment, and then having Broken Dreams. But this is good because you could have them sort of both playing off each other. That's good. I'm not gonna lie. I need to listen to all of that later. That's gonna be me after this when I have to work. When I have to get back to work, just listening to that on loop. Give me Broken Dreams, bruv. Just give me Broken Dreams. Give me Drew winning. Give me Drew winning. It's not complex. It's not gonna happen though, bless. But still, we are back from ad break. Interested to see whether or not we get the setup of the main event tonight, or whether we get that on Friday, because obviously we have the wingmen are in the ring with signs that say more wingmen on TV. JD Drake, Peter Avalon, Cesar Bonani, and your boy Nemeth just running down. I do kind of love the wingmen. They are just kind of... they're kind of crap. I love it, but... he said... this Wednesday... since Wednesdays will now be known as Wingmen Wednesdays, and out... oh, hello! It's W. Morrissey! And all of his... I don't know if you've heard this, but he's 7 foot tall. He's a very big man. W. Morrissey out of nowhere walking down to the ring. I didn't recognise the theme song when it started, but out comes Morrissey. The wingmen are all sort of big shot. He is ripped right now, isn't he? Willie Ed himself steps into the ring, staring down the wingmen. Oh, Cesar Bononi's not having it. He runs for him. Just a huge boot from Morrissey. I was just talking about how I don't watch enough Impact, and here he is. Morrissey asking to be hit by JD Drake, who's just caught into a big old choke slam. Oh, and out comes Stokely Hathaway. As William Morrissey, W. Morrissey, just continues to absolutely batter the wingmen, using Nemeth to just hit Benoni, big boots Benoni now, before he just screams guttural roar in the middle of the ring. Stokely's out here. As Peter Avalon slowly making his way up. Oh, Stokely, is Stokely gonna manage him? It'd be a decent combo, I can't lie. Oh, go on, Peter. Takes off his shirt as if that's gonna go well. Come on, mate. No, he's getting chokeslammed. Yeah, I thought he'd be WWE bound as well. I 100% did. Oh my god, he's just a huge chokeslam from W. Morrissey. Just holds Peter Avalon up in the air with one hand before slamming him back down. What Stokely looks giddy almost. Oh, and Stokely gives his business card to W. Morrissey. And then W. Morrissey just gives him a nod and they leave together. Yeah, I thought he was WWE bound as well. I would have been convinced by it. Obviously, his time with Impact was done, and I thought he probably would head back to the land of the Giants, but I'll be honest, it almost seems like a better idea for him to be here to some extent. Oh, Stokely getting interrupted halfway up. Shivani asks him what his business with the business cards is. Stokely says it's none of your business. W. Morrissey just standing behind him. Go on, Tony. Plap him, mate. He's looking shook. He's not showing any aggression at all. But go on, have him. Have him. Don't let the little Twitter troll get away with it. Ah, he's gone. Ah, well. Oh, no, it goes Stokely. Tell you what, that's a good combination, actually. That's a really nice combination. Stokely doing the talking for William. Big guy in there. Big. Love that. Really into that. Really into that. Like I said, I thought he would have been going to WWE, but it almost makes more sense for him to be here, you know? He comes across more special here because he's so big. Getting a backstage interview with Will Ospreay. Just let Aussie Open talk. Let my G's talk. Don Callis talking to him backstage, interrupting the interview to talk to Ospreay. Says people compare you to Kenny Omega, saying you're the next Kenny Omega. I don't think you are. I think you're your own man. Let my G's Aussie Open talk. I'm fuming. I just clocked Ishii in a pre-show. Yeah, I know, right? I only saw that earlier today. Ishii versus Eddie Kingston, right? Now, I know that's happened, I think, on Strong. I never saw it, which is mad because it's like a legitimate dream match of mine, but I never saw it. Obviously, doesn't really have much build-up, given the fact, you know, Kingston was obviously otherwise not on the last couple of shows, let's say. So I get there's no real space for it to be built to, so maybe that's why it's on there. But disgraceful. What a banger that is on a pre-show. Out comes Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and her accomplices. She's of course wrestling in a tag team match with your girl, Hater. Baker and Hater versus, let's see, this is the first true test of this new system and whether it actually fits, versus Shida and Storm. Will it be long enough to fit all of these names? Let's find out. I think it might be. There you go. It fits. Scenes. Baker and Hayter versus Shida and Storm. Of course, this is the build-up to the women's four-way match at All Out for the interim AEW Women's World Championship after Thunder Rosa went down. Also, by the way, which Joe Hendry song? Is it Joe Hendry, local hero? If you want some, come and get some. Shout out Joe Hendry. Just an unbelievably entertaining guy. Shida and Hayter starting strong, just big blocks to each other. The power women from this match. Oh, flipping hell, a spike spiked the floor. Goes Shida. Sorry, goes Hayter from Shida. Big. Yeah, I like that one. I can't lie. The AEW game Lower Third reminded me I've already pre-ordered it. I don't like the fact, but I did. What's your thoughts on it? Did you see the gameplay they showed off last week or this week and last week? Have you seen any of it? I'm looking forward to it. To be fair, it looks different enough from the WWE games where I'm like, okay, this is something a little bit different. I'm excited to play that as well. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I will be getting it almost certainly. Storm tagged in. Comes down with a double axe handle. You love to see a bit of classic tag team maneuvers. And then Hayter just quickly tags out to Baker. I'll tell you what, I'm also enjoying the tag colours going on here, you know? Storm and Shida both in sort of reds, sort of in predominantly red colours. Baker and Hayter both in a sort of blue with like a gold trim. It's enjoyable. It's different, but I'm looking forward to getting my. It's like, yeah, me too. It's definitely not trying to do the same thing as WWE's games at all. WWE's games have that sort of vaguely simulation-y, where it looks like it's going a bit more for that N64 style gameplay, which I'm super into. As we go to ad break, Storm getting tag teamed on by the entire trio of Baker, Hayter, and Reba. Sad that FTR won't be in it though. Their theme also slaps. Their theme is unreal. I suspect there'll be DLC, right? That makes most sense. When I saw that story of they're not going to be in the original release or whatever they said, something like that, I was like, okay, cool. It's there'll be a DLC pack. And I'm wondering how big the roster will be in general, because I've always assumed that it's going to be relatively small for wrestling games anyway. Obviously, you compare it to WWE or Fire Pro, where they have like 4 gajillion characters in it. I've always assumed it would be slightly smaller. So I wonder how big it would be. But like FTR feel like the guys, but I would suspect there'll be a DLC. That's my gut. My other gut is that there'll be a New Japan DLC, probably. I don't know if that'll work out, but get a little cheeky Forbidden Door DLC pack, it'll be called, and you get flipping Okada, Ishii, anyone who's been on AEW television, basically. So Okada, Ishii, your boy. God, what's his name? Why is his name? What is his? Blue Justice. Oh, I can't remember, but you get one thing. You get one. Baker and Hayter just running train right now during the ad break. Absolutely doing in Tony Storm. Classic ad break maneuvers. Heels just doing over one of the Benny faces in a tag team until the break comes back. I haven't seen that Cody will be taken out, so that'll be interesting if he's yeah. Is there a rumored release date for Fight Forever? I'm sure there is, and I haven't been concentrating enough on it. But I'm sure there is. Although THQ Nordic are a bit wild, so I've got no idea what's going on there. But that company is a madness. You would imagine, though, Cody would have to be taken out. You would imagine. Whether or not that's true, different story. He announced it, for Christ's sake, but, you know. Baker up on the top turnbuckle, trying to beat down on Tony, maybe going for an air raid. Storm reverses and hits a nice tornado DDT to try and get Shida back in this match. Hater tagged in and fights it off. Pushed up at the feet. In comes Shida. Let's go. It was September for a while. Don't see that happening now. Yeah, me neither. Shida running wild on Hater right now. Oh, and a nice little drop kick. Nice little drop kick from Shida, standing off the second ropes to Hater in the corner. Big vertical suplex. You love to see it. Oh, nice Meteora. Only a 2 count. Nice Meteora though from Shida to Hater. Baker now in the ring to try and break it up, and Tony Storm hits her with a missile dropkick. Yeah, for some reason I can't see it being 2022 at all. I don't know why. My gut just says it will be like February 2023. I feel like if it was 2022, we would know for certain now, but I'm not sure. Yeah, to be fair, 2K are a bit wild for that in general. All of 2K's game, 2K are obsessed with that sort of special edition stuff. Oh, 2 count. Very close 2 count from Baker. Oh, nice roll up. Nice roll up from Shida. 2 count. She receives a super kick for her good troubles by Baker. Yeah, 2K are obsessed with those like ridiculous special edition. Well, I say special editions. They're not really special editions. They're just editions with like, they're like digital deluxe editions, and it'll be like £100, and it'll be the main game and then some DLC packs when they eventually come out and all that sort of stuff. Last one I bought was the NXT edition. Haven't bought one since. Yeah, I haven't bought a WWE game in a while. You know, in a while. Like I've played them. Flipping heck, Hikaru Shida just absolutely leveling Baker off camera. I haven't bought a WWE game in a long time, you know. I need to get back involved. This latest one's been like interesting me a lot, but I just never got around to buying it. Oh, not Tony Storm running wild, little hit to Baker in the corner, and then jumps out for a tornado. Oh, mate, that spinning kick from Shida. 1, 2, 3. Nice stuff. That's a really nice finish. This spinning kick thing to the side of the face. I don't know. I liked it a lot. Tony Storm with the running attack to Baker in the corner, then jumping out through the thing. Through the ropes into a tornado DDT on Hater. And then a tentative handshake from the two of them. Solid sign in a crowd that just says, I need a dental checkup. What's Dr. DMD's availability? It was alright. Patches broke the game a bit. Did they? I never heard that. I saw it when it came out and it looked really interesting. And it was something I was sort of into and wanted to give a shot. I just never got around to. But I didn't know about the patches at all. I hadn't heard anything about it. I only know one person who's got it and we haven't spoken about it, so. Oh, we're getting a Kip Sabian promo. Nice. It's been interesting what's happening with Kip. Obviously, he's been injured for a long time, and he's been doing the box on the head thing, and you know, in all of Pac's different All Atlantic Championship title defenses, especially in like Rev Pro, for example. There's always been a Kip in the crowd, slowly sort of clapping him, and so leading up to this, it'll be a cool match whenever it happens. I don't know if is it happening at All Out. I cannot remember for the life of me. Yeah, I haven't played it in a while. My GM was good for a while until the person playing it with me. Yeah, that's always an issue, isn't it? That's always an issue. I need to get onto it at some point. Yeah, look. I'm now just looking up the price. This is the problem with having this conversation, is I am now just looking up the price because my brain's going, is it enough? Is it enough? Let me check Amazon. I'll probably be cheapest. Because it's like I've been jonesing to play a football game because I haven't really played any. £29. It's not bad. It's because I've been jonesing to play a football game as well, so I started playing flipping FIFA again, which was a mistake. Not I don't play foot, so it doesn't really make a difference to money wise. But I got it on PS Plus, so I was like, oh, I'll play that, and that was a mistake on my part. It's going to be myself constantly these days to be. Yeah. Especially the closer we get to the next one, which are they saying Mania for some reason? I have in my head about that sort of time it coming out. Because I'd say to myself, oh, I'll wait until the next one comes out. And then what will happen is that one will be super expensive. And I'll go, oh, I'll wait until that'll be cheaper. And then it will just be this infinite loop cycle until one happens. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Kostya, my boy. I will message you after this, Kostya, I promise you. In fact, sir, I will message you right now. And that way, I can't forget to do it later. Thank you, Kostya. Hope you're well, by the way, and hope the family are good. FIFA's been bad this season. Yeah. Like I bought FIFA 21 was the first one I'd bought in years since FIFA 16. I think was the last one I'd bought before that. And I was playing PES the entire time. And then I bought FIFA 21 because, frankly, I could. I was like, do you know what? Screw it. I'm going to play a bit of this, that, and the other. I might as well get the PS5 and the PS4 version together. It is what it is. And then, just like an idiot, I got 22 through PlayStation Plus, and so started playing that again. But I need to concentrate because the boy is talking Miro, who's screaming at God. Ooh. After running down Malachi, oh, Sting now. Oh, Miro is so good at promos. I don't care what anyone says. After running down Malachi... Oh, we're getting CM Punk. CM Punk's here, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk. Everyone calm down. CM Punk's here. After running down Malachi, we then get... out comes CM Punk. We then get Darby talking about how good Brody was when Malachi wasn't about, and how Malachi thinks he's special, yet Brody, look how much he did when he wasn't around. Then Sting turns up. Looks like on Sunday we're going to get a 3-on-3. Very exciting stuff. Punk's coming out looking a bit forlorn. You hate to see it. No. We're talking. No. It's Sting. It's Sting. Face paint and all. Baseball bat. Woo! Sting. He's still wrestling. He wrestles every once a month or something. He's great. Although, would I pay to watch Sting from the Police do calisthenics? Probably not. I can't lie. Probably not. If he sung Roxanne at the same time, maybe we could talk about Sting from the Police if he was singing Roxanne at the same time. But also, yeah, no. Pez since it went free to play, dead to me. I tried that Pez free to play a couple of times and I just was not vibing it. No, he wrestled in TNA Impact for ages. Then had one match in WWE in, when was that? WrestleMania, was that 2017? 2016? 2016. Against Triple H. They had one match. Then he had a couple of other matches in WWE. Got injured. Disappeared for 2 years. Then turned up on AEW Dynamite. There. Good lad. Doing bits. Doing absolute bits. Punk's talking about his broken foot, saying he wrestled and then he, quote, pulverized it. He did fly off the set at Forbidden Door. And Kostya, you should ask Lucas, because Lucas was watching it once recently, a couple of months ago, was and just out of nowhere went, oh my god, Sting just jumped off something. My man's just been flying about. Trust me, Sting's doing his thing. And it's very enjoyable. CM Punk, I'm interested to hear the reaction he gets. Because obviously Jon Moxley was getting a sort of response from the crowd, because obviously it is Chicago, so it is punk country. Says he probably shouldn't come back too early. He says his foot is 100%. He says he was cleared by doctors, but it's a new 100% and he doesn't know whether that's good enough. Which again is interesting. Again, I'm interested to see what happens with Punk. Is he going to sort of do a... Because we sort of had the can I still do it story previously. Are we going to get that again? I mean, we've kind of got that with Omega a bit at the moment as well. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought times couldn't get better, your boy James from E20 Zone TV. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Josh, E20 Zone TV, subscribe. Get involved if you haven't already. CM Punk saying he felt like he let all the fans down. He let his little sister down when he sees her, stuff like that. He's getting emotion. again, I'm interested to see the crowd reaction here. It is sort of 50-50. He said maybe that love just isn't enough anymore, to which Ace Steel comes out, who of course picked up the contract from Moxley earlier. Already subbed to James. There you go. Big plays. Big plays. Let's go. He still apologizes for interrupting the promo, introduces himself, which is fair, because I didn't instantly recognize him the first time he came down. Ace says he's proud of his career, but he's more proud of CM Punk's because he coached him. It's a very Chicago storyline going on right now. You got your first membership. Big plays, James. Congrats, bro. Like I said to you before, bro, you deserve it. You put in the hard work this year. You put in the graft and you made it happen. And I respect it, bro. You deserve it. But congrats on the membership. Who was it? Do I know him? Did you see Tony Khan said today by the end of the weekend AEW be the most talked about wrestling program in the world? What do you think he's got planned? No way he's putting that on MJF. Fresh news. It's an interesting question. I did see the comments. I'm not sure what that means. Ace Steel said, you're the guy who filled an arena on a rumor. So what? You lost in Cleveland. Life's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get up. And now he gets slapped around by Ace Steel saying, so what? You're going to sign this contract and you're going to fight Moxley. This is so Chicago, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And he said, if you've forgotten who you were, tell him Chicago, and they are chanting CM Punk. It's killer stuff for Chicago. It's killer stuff. The two embrace. The two embrace. Punk grabs the microphone. Before I was ever CM Punk, I was a punk rock kid from Chicago. Again, going in hard on the Chicago angle. God, good promo. It's just good. He says, since the day I was born, they were trying to find someone man enough to kill me. Jon Moxley, you ain't it. Jon Moxley, you're a wild thing. You ain't wild enough. This is Chicago as he strides through the crowd. Yeah, fresh news. I wonder, what do you think it is? What do you think he's got planned? I mean, we've already seen one return on the show tonight. Obviously, this is a big week. Chicago, kind of the hometown of AEW in a lot of ways. What do you think they've got planned? Punk climbs up onto the side. He's in the crowd. Says an all-out Jon Moxley. You can't break my bones. You can't drink my blood because we are Chicago. Again, putting this as heavily into being as babyface Chicago as humanly possible for Sunday's main event, obviously in Chicago. The match is pen to paper, it's happening. I tell you what, you want to set up a main event for a pay-per-view on 1 week's notice. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Cult of Personality blares out. It's official. It's going to be CM Punk versus Jon Moxley again. But you want to build it. That's a way to do it. That's a way to do it. Oh, Scott, my G, how are you? I did tell you, Scott, it was coming back. I meant to do Monday, but what's 2 days late, amongst friends? Do you know what I mean? It was love from Twitter. EDM. He told me he loves the realness of the channel and suffers from depression. Poor lad, hearing Mitch daily. Listen, it happens to the best of us. I'm in a group chat with him, crossing. But yeah, no, that's really good, James. Congrats, bro. Congrats, genuinely, that's awesome. I'm good, brother. Good to see you back. Thank you very much. Friday, we'll be back with Friday Night SmackDown. Saturday, we'll be here with Clash at the Castle. Sunday, we'll be here with AEW All Out. And then hopefully we're just rocking and we're rolling from there. You know? We got to 218 at Mania. Let's see where we can go with it. Let's just follow the vibe and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be here Friday for SmackDown, and then Saturday for Clash at the Castle. Ray Borum, who I do stuff with and does other bits and pieces with on West Ham, he's going, pissing me off. But it's not. Really good set of promos from for the main event there. Jon Moxley's original one early on, sort of getting an interesting sort of vibe, like interesting reaction, but I thought was really good, and putting it out there in a really good way, putting out the contract, and in that with CM Punk sort of putting out that maybe he doesn't feel like he can do it anymore, followed by Ace still saying not only can you, but you are. And that was a banger. That was an absolute banger. That's a way to set up a main event on like 4 days' notice. Jungle Boy and Christian now coming out for a promo together backstage, setting up their match. West Ham and wrestling watch along. You're a busy guy. Too busy, Sean. Way too busy, Sean. I never stop. I don't sleep either. Scott's right, to be fair. Scott knows. He'll see messages in the group chat at like 5 a.m. It's just the way it goes. This match is really interesting as well. Christian turning on Jungle Boy, taking Luchasaurus with him, sort of putting Jungle Boy in that bracket to have that singles push. Jungle Boy saying as much as he wishes the real you was in there somewhere still to Christian, who turned on him. He said, this is probably the real you. Said, my father told me to be a man, and that's what I'm going to do on Sunday. He said, on Sunday, you were going to fight. You're not going to fight a boy. You're going to fight Jack Perry. Yes. Good. Oh, and then we get that banging FTR theme. Bruv, this show's rocking right now. With the banging... Bro, FTR song just slaps. With all of the belts, Josh. All of the belts. 3 of them, bruv. 3 of them. I'm just coming to terms with what Sean said as well about West Ham. I've got West Ham on Saturday as well. So Saturday I'm doing West Ham, then straight onto Clash of the Castle straight after, like half an hour later. Tomorrow tomorrow on Hammer's chat we've got the FTR and Wardlow. We have the Deadline Day stream as well. Oh, it's just non-stop. It's just non-stop. What mistaken in life I like me. Oh, at one point we're going to get Wardlow versus flipping W. Morrissey. Just big boys going at it. Very excited for that, I can't lie. Oh! Stingy! It's Thingy! One of the people they're facing! The last real man. What's his name? Ring of Honor. Silas Young. Don't know who the other two guys are. I recognise one of them. Capri, Young and Jones. Capri, Young and Jones again. We're testing the full-on limits of this thing. I don't know if this will fit. That's not gonna fit. Look at that. Do you know? Here's what we do. The boys. No, not the boys, because that's an actual tag team. Some boys. Spam. Yeah, Silas Young. Yeah. Thank you. I was right. Silas Young. And West Ham are officially massive. Again, another important fact from today. We were so close today. We were so flipping close. The infamous night when Y2J became first ever I know, incredible scenes. Made his debut in Chicago. Fun fact for WWE. So there you go. Which is where they are right now for context. I appreciate that's confusing, but yeah. Tell you what, Jones going to town on Dax. Brings Capri in. Silas Young is a what you call it? Silas Young is a Chicago guy, isn't he? So makes sense. They probably also just Chicago guys. Oh, big rig from FTR, and then I think we're about to get a big old power bomb from Wardlow. Tune up the orchestra. Bosh. First power bomb in play. Tell you what, we might even not get to see Silas at this point. Silas Young might not even get into this match. Wardlow in for that second power bomb now. Up goes Capri. Down goes Capri with a triple power bomb. 1, 2, 3. Aubrey Edwards. The match is done and dusted. I'll tell you what, there was a brief moment there where Young was a bit all over Dax in the early stages. I felt like it might be somewhat competitive, but turns out when you tag in Wardlow, no. Nope. Competitiveness goes out the window. Still, we see. Oh, a banging match coming up, by the way. An absolute barnstorming match going on. A prelude to the ladder match that's coming up on Sunday. We've got Dante Martin. Let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. It's Martin, Dante versus Phoenix versus Roosh versus Utah. That is a 4-way match I want. And I'm getting it next. You'll love to see it. Great fact. Thank you very much. I'm just full of them, Scott. You know what I mean? Up here, I've just got facts. Out the wazoo. Do I regret saying that? Maybe. So does FTR compete against Aussie Open at Royal Quest 2? If so, what titles? This is what I think is going to happen, Sean. That's my bet. Night 2, FTR versus Aussie Open at Night 2 of Royal Quest 2. That's my bet. I really want to go. I almost bought tickets. I haven't yet, but I'm seriously considering it. I was at Royal Quest 1 at the Copper Box in Stratford. Great arena to have it in. Apparently the streams were absolutely balked and broken, so maybe that's why they've not gone back there and decided to go 2 nights in Crystal Palace instead. I really want to go, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. But I'm unbelievably tempted to, especially the second night. I think West Ham are playing on the Saturday, so that will make going to the Saturday one impossible or a pain in the ass. Although, to be fair, I missed the first one. I missed the West Ham match of the first one. I went to the boats in the morning and then met up with my mates at a copper box and went to it. But I do want to go. But I reckon it'll be Aussie Open, and I reckon it'll probably be. I don't know, because they've both got New Japan belts. My gut says maybe it'll be for the New Japan Strong belts. Aussie Open win, and then that allows them to have a title shot at the main heavyweight tag team titles from NJPW at some point down the line, is kind of what I think will happen. I'm not sure. But to be honest with you, the idea of FTR versus Aussie Open is enough for me to want to go to that show by itself, because that match is like, I don't know how many more better tag team matches you can actually create. Like, I adore Aussie Open with an absolute passion. I have done for years, and FTR obviously are one of the best in the world. So it's making me desperate to go. But I probably won't end up going. I'll probably just end up watching it from here. But I'm desperate to go. Most iconic match you've witnessed? Tough question. That is a tough question. It's a very tough question. Live in person. Oh, Moxley's coming back out. Ignore that. That's not happening yet. We're getting Moxley back out. After CM Punk signed the contract, Moxley's back. He said, if that's what your boy wants, that's what he's going to get. They've just done an entire build in ridiculously short amount of time. He says, if you want to try that miracle one more time, then you better beware, because I'm going to pull your head off. Oh, he says he's going to show the difference between a fake Messiah and the real thing, a real legend being made right before your eyes. Match is going to bang. I think he had something else to say. He looked like he was about to, but the song started and now he's going. There we go, Moxley versus CM Punk. I mean, it's going to be big. They've sort of squashed the entire build to this, what feels like it could have been 4 or 5 episodes, just into a single night. God, we're getting promos out the wazoo. We're getting Dark Order now with Evil Uno and 10. Evil Uno saying he's taking the place of 10 in the Trios tournament on Friday at Rampage. That'll be live on this Friday channel, so subscribe. Why not? Screw it. I'll push that out there. Oh. A little bit of beef between the two boys, between Andrade and Evil Uno there before the match on Friday. Most iconic match I've seen live would probably be. It's not really iconic as much as it was just unbelievable. But I saw a match at York Hall. It was Keith Lee versus Tomohiro Ishii. Both of whom will be wrestling on Sunday in this AEW show. But I saw them in York Hall, Bethnal Green, pull out the best match I've ever seen in my life live. It was insane. I remember just everyone after the fact just being like, yeah, that was incredible. But then not on match. Do you know what? I would put up there the the Daniel Bryan win at WrestleMania 30, where he beat Orton and Orton at Mania. I think that's probably up there. Like, in terms of just like sheer moments, that's insane. That's insane. Edge Kurt stick out for me. Shaved head match or Ric Flair Undertaker saga. Yeah, the Taker Flair, but actually, and Flair Shawn Michaels. That's another super iconic moment. There's about Roosh coming out. What a boy. What a boy. Oh, Lucas, my beautiful man. My beautiful boy. You missed it. Lucas, you missed it earlier. Costi was here. We were talking about Sting jumping off things. We needed you here. We were talking about him jumping off high things like a very old man. Best match I've seen live has got to be Gargano Ciampa. Why you do this to me, Josh? Why you do this to me? Out comes Rey Fenix. Why you do this to me? This match is going to bang, by the way. I know it's only to hype up a match where these are 4 of the 8 people happening on Sunday anyway, but this is like a dream match, these boys together. Let's go. I've been thinking of going to Royal Quest 2. I also went to Royal Quest 1 and I enjoyed that. I loved Royal Quest 1. I really did. Okada versus Suzuki. Oof. 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 Let's go. Let's go. Zack Sabre Jr. versus the Ace, Tanahashi. Took me a second. I had to see his nickname to get there. Oof. Oof. You know? Aussie Open. Wrestled on that card against Gorillas of Destiny. Oof. Oof. Just going to keep doing that noise forever. Oh, bloody hell. This match is starting hot and early. Hot and early. I'm not even going to try and describe what's going on unless it's achievable, because this is going to be a little bit insane. Big Ole chants coming from the crowd. There's a Mexico flag in the front row as Roosh Octopus hold being put in by Wheeler Yuta on Roosh, who's just powering out. Roosh is so good, by the way. Roosh is so good. Talk about a guy they should have picked up from Ring of Honor. Roosh was one of them. What a guy. Big springboard by Dante Martin. It's rare that Dante Martin's in a match and he's only the second best high flyer in the ring. But then again, here comes Phoenix. Just insane. Oh, looking for Gory, but... Two incredible reversals in a row. I'm not going to try and describe it. It was just sick. Looking to try and hit him with the Gory Bomb. And Jesus, Phoenix always scares me when he does those suicide dives. It's just mad. Has him up for the Gory Bomb, and then as he's about to release to slam him down, flipping, Dante flips it into a sunset flip bomb. Insane. This match is sick. This match is sick. Early doors. Dante's just flying about. This match is great. One former wrestler you'd like to see return. Up goes Dante to the top rope. Oh, just absolutely nutted by Roosh, just with the big kadoosh. You love to see it. Roosh getting huge chance right now. Ego's flying. This match is just people flying left, right, and centre. It's a good question, Scott. I don't know. Well, Kurt might be returning. Kurt might be returning for one more match. I tell you what, if you said to me, who would I like to see return for one more match, who like realistically could, I would pick Kurt. Would be up there, mainly because his last match was so disappointing. But another Kurt Angle match, especially if it's against Chad Gable, I would be very excited about that. I would be very excited about that. Who else? Trying to think who's realistic. It seems realistic, you know. I'd probably go Kurt. I'd probably say Kurt. I'll say Kurt. I'm gonna stick with my guns and say Kurt Angle against Chad Gable, specifically at like a big show, so Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, or ideally a WrestleMania. Roosh is now just picking up cables from the ringside area and just slapping people about with them, which not only feels against the rules, but also for a television production feels unnecessarily risky. You know what I mean? He may just cut the feed at any moment. Like at WrestleMania 17. You know? Could happen. If you include people that are no longer with us, Eddie Guerrero would be number one. Yeah, big time. I love Eddie. Eddie was like one of my first loves in wrestling. I love that guy. He's my dad's favorite wrestler as well. I would love to see, especially now, I feel like you could have Eddie go to absolute town with some people who are around right now, and it would be unreal. Imagine one of some of those matches. I need to go back and find the Eddie Guerrero versus CM Punk match at some point from 2002, 3, whenever that was, in early Ring of Honor. Was it early Ring of Honor? I think it was. I need to go back and watch that at some point, or some of the matches they had. He was involved in 2 or 3, I think. I don't think they ever had a singles, and they might have, I don't remember, but I need to go back and watch that, because I never have. RVD can still go. That's the insane thing about it, Scott, is RVD can still go and still does, just in random places at random times. Or Phoenix just taking an absolute nut from Roosh. Oh, and he gets absolutely slapped down. Dante, I tell you what, Roosh right now is in control. He is just beating up all of the boys in sight. All of the boys. Who hit the frog splash better, RVD or Eddie? Logan Paul at SummerSlam. No. Back from the ad break. Something will probably happen now. Oh, instantaneously. Oh, Jesus. It has to be Eddie, but RVD hit a hell of a 5-star. But Eddie, like, I don't know, there's something about the way Eddie hit it that make me say Eddie. The thing I liked about RVD's is, you know, when he lands and he'd be like bang, and then he'd sort of come up from it being like, oh, my stomach. That was always sick. I loved that. Everyone else who does a frog splash since then does that for a reason. It bangs. But I'd have to say Eddie. Mainly because morally, I don't think I can. Dante and Phoenix now going in. Oh, Dante. Lovely sort of side slam there. I don't even know how to describe it. Gets him up, flips around, side slam. Love that. Love that from him. Scott, who would you say? I'm interested. Eddie or RVD for this frog splash alone? Nothing else. Just frog splash alone. Who had a better one? Phoenix gets Dante up, hits him with a sort of gutbuster thing. Nicely done. Oh, I love that powerbomb from Phoenix. Taz just said, imagine what these people can do with a ladder on Sunday. I'm like, yes. Oh, Phoenix, nice slingshot. Love that slingshot spinning heel kick. Oh, Poison Rana, bloody hell, spiked in the most spiky of manners from Dante Martin. And he's going up now. He looks like he's going to try and get that springboard. Oh, Wheeler Yuta stops him, slams him down. Oh, Phoenix with a big old Shoryuken style uppercut. Any RVD matches were always class. Backlash just stand out as Eddie showed the belts the wrong way after he won. Yes. Eddie versus RVD is like a top tier match. It's one of those things like they always. I remember. I think it's in the CM Punk documentary WWE did. I think it was that where he talks about how when he was WWE champion and Danielson, I think, was heavyweight champion at the same time or something like that, and they were trying, or maybe no, they were separate, and they kept. Yuta gets the win with a lovely seatbelt pin on Dante. Good work. That match was sick. That match was great. There was a. I think CM Punk said something like, "You should have always kept those two people separate, him and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan back in the day, separate, because whenever you put them together, you could always just create magic and just let it happen." And Eddie and RVD is the same thing. It's like, if you ever just need a good match, a really good match, you know what I mean? It's just a perfect combination. Yuta would win, the ROH Pure Wrestling Champion. Gets the dub. We're then going backstage to more Dark Order stuff. Eva Luna taken out. 10 can't come beat. Asking who's going to replace them. Oh! Hangman! Love that. Setting up a little cheeky... Setting it up. Hangman teaming up with the rest of Dark Order, Reynolds and Silver, to take on Best Friends this Friday. We'll also hear from Swerve in Our Glory. Rampage just looks good, man. Rampage just looks good. Tell you what, it's setting up. It's kind of setting up perfectly for a Hangman to be against the Elite on Sunday, which would be interesting. I feel like that's the way you push it in. How are they going to give us Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston on the pre-show? Also on the pre-show, the All Atlantic Championship match between Pac and Kip, and then Cool Hands Ange and Hook facing on the pre-show as well. All Out is looking good. All Out is looking very good. Looking at this rundown now, there is a lot of very good matches going on. And I tell you what, it's setting up a lot of trios as well. There's a lot of trios matches on this card, which for a company who've just created a trios tag team belt, makes sense that they've got a lot, but they've put a lot together. It's also a long pay-per-view incoming. I'm going to have 2 incredibly long days. I'm not doing Worlds Collide as well, but I probably... that's going to be ridiculous on Sunday. Going to an ad break. Right, going to an ad break. I'm going to go and grab a drink before the main event, which I suspect will be next, which will be United Empire versus the Elite. The Elite versus United Empire. Ospreay versus Omega finally coming to a head, coming to blows after what feels like about 8 years of build up on Twitter. We're finally getting it. But yeah, I'll be back in a sec. Just grab a drink. I mean, the show is insanely stacked, but Pac on the pre-show, yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a sad one. Although again, a banger. Kip wins that match. It's tight, Sean. It's tight. I'll say that. My gut says it will be Pac. I think it's too early to take it off him. I think there's so much more you can do with Pac as well as the champ, but I think reintroducing Kip in a big way, especially if we're looking forward to potentially an AEW pay-per-view in the UK soon at Craven Cottage, potentially. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Thank you, by the way, Scott, for the muted chat. I did completely forget to unmute myself. Also, the text, Ratsnake, listen, he came back at Mania and had an absolute banger. Was it like an out of this world technical classic? No, it was just a big old clobber fest. You know, and I was here for that. Out comes Ospreay and the United Empire, followed quickly by the Super Kick Party Elite themselves. Another great theme song. I can't imagine the Young Bucks without the Super Kick Party theme they currently have now, you know? It's so OTT, but just big. Wow. It's good. I want to see 120 subs. Listen, Scott, we're vibing our way there, my friend. We'll get there. Listen, James hit the 1K. Do you know what I mean? He flew 500 subs for Mania. Maybe that's possible. Maybe that's not. We'll see what happens. But we're gonna push it. We're gonna try it. We see where we go. Here comes Omega. We'll see where we go with it. Omega's entrance is awesome. I love Kenny's entrances. They are so good. I love them so much. Just running down Will Ospreay. Just no fear. Out comes the cleaner. Another excellent theme song. I don't know what his theme song's called in AEW. Are you ready for this? Best Bout Machine? I don't remember. It's called. It's banger. Clips, my friend. How are you, sir? Jack Groma whips it in. One day you might run out of Waterloo Road characters. You won't. That's a lie. There's so many. Shout out Jack Rimmer. Do you know what I mean? A good man, often distracted by women, but often distracted by money, but ultimately good heart. A good head teacher. Also, Omega wrestling in a weird top at the moment, which is very weird to me, you know? Austin match was the second best thing at Mania. I keep forgetting Cody's same show. Yeah, that banged as well, to be fair. What about... Also, thank you, Sean, for the compliment. I appreciate that. What about... Do you know what I loved unashamedly? And the only match I've rewatched from that WrestleMania... Oh, we start hot and it's Ospreay and Omega just going at it straight away. Do you know what else? The only match I've rewatched from that Mania was the Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville match. I love that match. I tell a lie. I rewatched the Women's Championship match with my girlfriend as well. But the Sami Zayn one specifically is the only one I watched by myself, and that bangs. Battle Cry. Thank you very much. I think that song slaps, Josh. Big slap from Will Ospreay just round the chest of Omega. Now just stomping a hole into Omega. The Young Bucks come and break it up, and now Aussie Open fly in and start just absolutely flying. Another tag team match. I cannot think. Like, there's very few top tier tag team matches I would want more than FTR versus Aussie Open. Aussie Open versus the Young Bucks might be. I don't know which one I would want more. Just give me both. You know. Oh, Omega just chopped out Nice assisted Hurricane Runner from the Young Bucks. Both of them looking to fly over the top. Oh, both of Aussie Open stop him. Davis and Fletcher catch him. Oh, and then squash Omega in the middle. This is a very UK indie match from like 2017. Ospreay, a ridiculous, twisty, flippy thing from the top. Like, if you told me this match happened at like a OTT or Rev Pro show in 2017, I would have believed you. I would have believed you. Like, there was that one tour they did where Kenny and the Young Bucks came across, and they did that. They did a Rev Pro show. They did an OTT show. They did. I can't remember if they did another show, but I feel like that was that. You know. I feel like Ospreay was in one of those matches, in a tag match in OTT. I feel like it was like Ospreay, Ryan Smile, and back body drop to Ospreay on the ramp, and they're fighting to the outside here. They're all the way up there the stage, just absolutely going wild. Matt Jackson comes flying off the top of the stage down, jumps from the ramp onto the floor where everyone is battling right now. And Rush, Leo Rush, I feel like that was the fact. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Kenny Omega's theme does slap me, it's true. But big shows, Kenny's, Keith Lee's, and Claudio's, all big. Some very good themes in AEW. Some very good themes in AEW. Some very good themes in wrestling right now, you know. We're having a little bit of a renaissance of themes a little bit. I'm having a good old time. AEW's got the full sort of songs. But I feel like WWE are maybe slowly getting there, although I feel like CFOS were unduly done in there. That's maybe a hot wrestling music take, to be fair. Omega just big hammer elbow down onto the back of Will Ospreay. So let's go Ospreay, let's go Kenny dueling chants happening from the crowd. Certainly louder for Omega than it is for Ospreay, but interesting that there's a dueling chance. I mean, this is a hardcore crowd. You're talking Chicago, you're talking pay-per-view week, you're talking a hardcore crowd, so they are going to know who Ospreay is. But interesting that there's dueling chance though. Bless me. Bless me. Nice. Slingshot over the top, Eddie Guerrero style from Nick Jackson. That slingshot sort of senton over the top, bro. Oh, Nick going after Kyle Fletcher there. Aussie Open just stepping up to the Young Bucks who sort of stare him down. Not really much movement. Ospreay getting beaten down by the Young Bucks now, but a nice... Love that. Handspring back double elbow to the Bucks. And then a hot tag. In comes Mark Davis. A little bit of a trip, but catches Nick Jackson anyway. Slams him into Matt. Oh, Mark Davis just going after both Young Bucks. Come on, lads. Oh, Mark Davis with a cartwheel and then a double. And then a double. Come on. Unabashedly Aussie Open fanboy. Oh, Mark Davis going for both at once. Oh, he does. Slams them both. We'll say this. Mark Davis's haircut, questionable at the moment, but... big kick from Kyle. Oh, I love that. Big assisted cutter 1, 2. Kenny Omega comes in to break it up. Oh, Matt Jackson with a nice reversal. Now taking on all of United Empire by himself. Gets rid of both Aussie Open. Oh! Unreal reversal from Matt Jackson on Will Ospreay. Takes out all three of them and now looking for that tag. Kenny wants in. Are they even using the tag, bro? Why you have one if you ain't using it? Nah. In comes Omega. First big hit to Mark Davis. They're going in now. Oh, nice. Nice drop step by Omega with the low drop kick sliding. Starting to get some momentum. Starting to flip and fly. Big, nice jump slam. Davis kicks out too. No tag ropes. They exist. They're there, but nah. Listen, Jim Ross right now is fuming about it. He's not saying anything, but you know he is. Carl Fletcher with a Snapdragon. Mark Davis then gets Snapdragoned. Ospreay sent to the outside. Holds up. Oh, nice heel kick. Looking for an Oscar. Can't quite find it. Good block from Omega. Oh, and then look for a Snapdragon. Ospreay reverses into a big Hurricane. I love that. And now Ospreay looks like he's about to go flying. Omega's on the outside. Ospreay. Oh. And Omega just one step back. Ospreay lands on his feet. Quick dragon snap suplex to Ospreay on the outside. Omega tap of the head. He knew what was coming. He knew what's going on here. Big Kenny chance. This is, of course, the semi-final match for the AEW World Trios Championships. Winners go through to face the winners of the other semi-final happening on Friday. On Sunday night at All Out. Big shot to the top from Fletcher. Davis is there. Davis and Fletcher looking for a superplex on Kenny Omega. Oh. Delayed. Huge superplex. A double superplex from the top. Delayed. They may not have one. It might be my eyes. I know there was a big... They used to have one. Whether they still do or not is another question. I remember there being one specific episode of Dynamite very early on. I think it was the tag team special episode they did where basically every match was a tag team match. I want to say it was in the first 10 episodes, maybe. It was in the build up to crowning the first tag team champions. And just Jim Ross having an absolute fit at the lack of rules being observed in the tag team matches. Ospreay rips off the shirt of Kenny Omega, who looks beaten up underneath. You've got some of the sort of the cup marks. You've got some tape in there. You've got abdomen taped, not taped up, but sort of bandaged up. Brian, good to see you, my friend. How are you? Hope you're well. Omega showing some... Sorry, Ospreay showing some strength. Oof. Big spinning backbreaker. 2 count on Omega. There's a reason why maybe he was wearing that weird top, Omega, because now he's been exposed and you can see tape all over him, cup marks, the bandages around his stomach, sort of abdomen area. It's depressed to watch wrestling at the moment, so we're going to wrestling discussion streams instead. How are you? I'm well, Brian. I hope you feel better soon, mate. I hope you feel better soon. That is a horrible place to be. I've been there a few times in my life. Reach out, maybe get some help, because that's what helped me. I can't lie, but I hope you're all right. And you're welcome around here anytime you want, my friend. Hope you start to recover soon. But I'm okay. I'm okay. Enjoying a bit of AEW. Big slam from Davis. Davis with a slam. Matt Jackson comes in and breaks up the pin and just gets launched out. Davis then just clobbers Nick Jackson to the outside and taking control. Aussie, oi, chance coming. Let's go. I feel like AEW, if there's AEW people who haven't seen Aussie Open before, they don't know just how good a tag team they are. Legitimately one of the best I've seen live. So ridiculously good. And now Carl Fletcher just plopping Ospreay, Omega on the face. Ospreay's loving it. Big knee to the abdomen from Ospreay. Then just with the abdominal stretch, just going to town on the onto the center, of mass where that bandages are around Omega. I wonder if you're gonna get MJF, Autumn of MJF. I mean, he has to be coming back relatively soon. I would think. I would reckon it would probably be relatively soon. I don't know when it will happen. It's going to be a huge moment when it does. It could happen at All Out. You know? I feel like there might be there's an outside chance of it happening on Sunday at All Out. I feel like he has to go. Maybe he goes after Punk. I don't know. It's a really interesting one. Who do you think when he comes back? Who do you think the first sort of guy he goes after is? Because I feel like you could go for Wardlow, but Wardlow's sort of doing his thing at the moment. So maybe he goes for like a Punk. Maybe that's Punk's next thing. If Punk doesn't beat Moxley, then maybe he goes after him. What do you think? We're back from ad break as Nick Jackson is running wild on the United Empire. Nice double takedown. Flicks himself over the ropes. Clobbers Ospreay to the face. Double shouldered barge. Double face buster, outside, cartwheels, caught, hurricane, big tornado DDT. You love to see it. Big plays from Nick Jackson. Moxley or Punk? Do you reckon whoever he goes after will be the AEW champion or the one who loses? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Do you reckon he'll go after the AEW champion, be that Moxley or Punk? Or do you reckon he'll go after whoever the person who lost would be, if that makes sense? Ospreay now stepping up to Nick Jackson in the middle of the ring. Snapdragon suplex. He's trying to copy Ospreay. Omega's stop. Snapdragon suplex was going for the V trigger. And now Omega comes in to break it up. And those two are exchanging big forearms. Center of the ring. Huge chop from Kenny Omega. Ospreay with the nice sort of running moonsault off Omega's chest. Goes for the Inzaguri. Duck from Omega. Omega looking up for a V-trigger. Can't quite find him. Ospreay with a really nice reversal into a huge Liger bomb. Of course, Omega not the legal man, so can't be pinned. And now the United Empire are setting up for potentially the finish here. Potentially. Oh, Nick Jackson with an unreal reversal. They were looking for that sort of fidget spinner Oscar combo that the Aussie Open have been doing. Sorry, that United Empire have been doing. But he catches Ospreay in a cutter of his own, and now the Elite are going after Kyle Fletcher. Big power bomb from Omega, looking for maybe the V trigger and a double super kick at the same time. Fletcher down center of the ring. 1, 2. Mark Davis just stops it. Jesus Christ, that was a 3. His crowning moment should be a win over Punk, winning his AEW Championship. Yeah, I agree. I think MJF should win the Trilogy over Punk. That should be his AEW World Championship win going after Punk. Makes no sense. Yeah, I completely agree. It makes sense. Don't worry. Ospreay, Oscar, And now all of a sudden, oh my God, United Empire might win this, you know? United Empire are in an incredible position to win this. Ospreay goes up to the top. They're looking for maybe a Meltzer driver. Oh, a Meltzer driver, but with a shooting star press. 1, 2. Flipping heck, it was a 2. I thought that was it. Carl Fletcher pinning Matt Jackson after a Meltzer driver with a shooting star press instead of the sort of front flip that Nick Jackson does, sorry. And now Ospreay setting him up, looking for that hidden blade on Matt Jackson. Huge AEW chance happening. Oh, Nick tries to stop it, and then Omega comes in, hits a big V trigger. Aussie Open now getting taken out by the Young Bucks. Big double super kick. Now looking for maybe a second on Carl Fletcher, maybe looking for a triple with Omega. Super kick. Yeah, don't worry, I understand. I think that makes sense. I think that makes the perfect sense, Brian. I would probably agree with that. I think you could go straight after him, or you could do a thing. If you wanted to delay it one, he goes after whoever loses, beats them as a sort of way to establish himself at that top rung. But I think if Punk is the winner, then I think it makes sense that he could be in line. I don't know whether they would want to pull the trigger that early, but it definitely makes sense. Oh, Ospreay hitting a V-trigger on Kenny Omega. Now he's going to town. I genuinely don't know which way this is going to go. It's set up for the Elite to win, but I have no idea which way this is going to go. Oh, nice. They're now going for it. Indie Taker from the Elite. Ospreay not the legal man. So instead, Omega is now refocusing his sights on Kyle Fletcher. Looking for the V-trigger. Kyle struggling to get up. Big V-trigger. And now pulls him back. One-winged angel about to be hit on Kyle Fletcher. Delivers. 1, 2, 3. It's done. It's over. Kenny Omega picks up the win for the Elite. Pinning Kyle Fletcher on a one-winged angel. Like I said, it felt like it was set up for the Elite to go to All Out. Potentially facing Dark Order with Hangman Adam Page. Potentially. We'll see what happens on Friday. But it was all set up. Akuma fears the Elite. Excellent sign in the crowd. A very, very fun main event. A very fun main event. Expected with those 6 men, but a very fun main event. And Kyle Fletcher taking the pin. Potentially keeping sort of an Ospreay Omega thing. A Ospreay Omega thing clean for, I'm just going to say, maybe Wrestle Kingdom. Maybe Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know. We'll see. But a really fun main event. To cap off a really good episode of Dynamite. They managed to turn around what felt like an impossible situation with the world title picture setting up for that main event of All Out, where there's just been no main event until now. They've managed to turn that around into a big thing. It feels like it happened. They've set up a lot of stuff for All Out. A very exciting time. And Rampage is, of course, between now and then, where we'll see the Dark Order versus the Best Friends, to see who will face the Elite at All Out, amongst a bunch of other stuff, which we'll be here for, streaming on this very channel. Both Friday night, Rampage, and of course All Out on Sunday. We'll also be doing SmackDown on Friday, and sorry, I was just seeing Ospreay sitting on the ramp, looking up, despondent at Kenny Omega. We'll also be doing, of course, Friday night SmackDown and Clash at the Castle on Saturday. So hey, if you're seeing this and you haven't subscribed already, check it out. Subscribe. Why not? Come back. We'll have a grand old time together watching some wrestling, and like the video. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. It's going to be a stressful day. After this, I've got to go straight to making the first thumbnail of the day, because we know what our first video is going to be at about 8 o'clock. We know what that will be. I think we're uploading about 8 tomorrow morning on the main channel and probably on the forum channel as well. We know what those videos are, so I've got to go on to making those thumbnails, and then we've got the streaming. I don't know if we might be doing 1 or 2 videos in the middle of the day, depending on updates and what do you call it? And the main stream at 9 to 11, I think is the time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to Frank Reynolds. Yes, my lovely boy. Oh, we're gonna get a Kenny promo on Fight at least. Here you go. My lovely boy. Sticks with me through thick and thin, Brian. No, yeah, you're right. The feed cut out. Don't worry about it, Josh. It's fine. I was like, oh, maybe. It didn't happen. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like the video. All of that good stuff will be back. Like I say, on Friday, we will have our SmackDown watch along as well as our Rampage watch along. Saturday, we have Clash at the Castle. Then Sunday, we have All Out. We'll probably have preview prediction style videos in between those for the big shows. I'm not quite sure when those will happen yet. I've got a lot on. With West Ham final day, the transfer and all that good stuff. But we'll see what happens. We're back now. We're flying. It's happening. I thought, what a better day to return, or what a better week to return than this. So I appreciate you all for coming. Thank you very much. Shout out to everyone who came by. Shout out Josh, Brian. Good to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. Clips, Scott, Venn, James, Sean, James. Sorry, I don't know why I called you James. Sean. Shout out Lucas. Shout out E20 Zone TV. Shout out Fresh News. Shout out Costia. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I am going to head off. I am going to make thumbnails now for the rest of my evening. What a time to be alive. See you later, everyone. I'll see you on Friday. And hey, if you're a West Ham fan, I'll probably see you tomorrow at some point or several times. Who knows? See you later, everyone. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.